Cameron is from Alaska, right? Cameron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. It's good to talk to you again.
You too.
Last time I was there in L.A., that was the first thing I did when I got there. Is did your church service, and it was awesome. It was so awesome to meet you.
It was an honor to meet you as well, man. That was cool.
Yeah, so I wanted to get some personal advice about my relationship with my girlfriend that you met.
Yes.
Remember her, the Korean girl?
I do remember her. Absolutely.
Marilyn. Interracial is what you said.
Yes, sir. How's she doing?
She's doing good. So she goes to school in Boston.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still in Alaska, and I'm leaving in a week. And we're going to have a spring break in New Mexico, and I'm going to take her to the ranch and teach her how to milk some goats and stuff.
Amazing. That's cool.
I mean, after that, yeah, it's going to be cool. And then after that, we're flying to Boston, where she's going to continue her school, and I'll be living at a place where I'll be doing a job like 30 minutes away. Do you have any advice to me to like try to keep our relationship, to keep it like the way that God would want it to be, where we just see each other on the weekends and, do a little bit of activity and then just try to be friends for the most part.
Are you moving to her town?
I'm moving to the same area. I'll be like 30 minutes away.
So you're moving to be closer to her?
For the time being. I go to school online, so I have to come back to Alaska in July.
So are you moving to be closer to your girlfriend?
Yes, but I'm not moving. I'm just like going to a company that I used to work for. So
why are you doing that even temporarily? Why are you moving closer to her?
That's a good question. I would say just I think being closer to her will help our relationship.
In what way?
We've been together almost a year now, and it's nice to just have like a period of time. I think I'll be there for like 3 or 4 months where we can just see each other on the weekends and just check it out and see if we're compatible.
Why won't she move closer to you then? A man should never, ever, but never follow a woman. You will suffer for it.
I'm not moving there, Jesse. I'm not moving. I'm just.
But you're moving there to be closer to her to see if it'll work, right?
Well, she goes to school at a very prestigious college, so she doesn't have the ability to move like I do because I'm going to school online. I can be wherever I want to be, and it just happens to work out that I have a company that would be happy to hire me, and it's not a big deal me going out there for a little bit, and I've been thinking about doing it anyway. So,
do what you want, of course, but I recommend you not do it. You're breaking the rule by following the woman. If it were meant to be, she would come to where you are and go to school there. No such thing as a prestigious school. They just name those places that in order to make more money. And they try to make it seem important, but it's not important. And I don't know what she's going to school for, but whatever she's learning, she can learn it anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's like in the back of my head, you're saying what I've been thinking. But
so why don't you follow what you believe is?
Check it out.
Why won't you follow what you believe is the right way? Because if you don't follow the right way, you're going to end up in a ditch.
Well, I'll have to keep you abreast of what goes on. But thank you so much for that advice. I want to answer your biblical question.
Let me ask first: if you didn't move to be closer to her for a few months or however long, what do you think will happen with the relationship?
I think we would just continue on doing what we're doing.
Why don't you do that then?
Well, I already made the plans, Jesse. I already signed my contract.
You can tell me you made a mistake.
Well, I don't think it's a mistake, Jesse. I think, I've.
But
I've
you
talked to
said
lot
there's
of
a
people.
part of you telling you that you should
Yeah, there
not
is a
follow
part
the
of me.
woman. You follow the woman, Cameron, and a man should never follow a woman. You will suffer. Every time the man listens to the woman, he suffers. You should listen to your conscience, which is of God.
Yeah.
You want her too bad.
Well, you don't know what it's like living in Alaska, Jesse. There's no good women here.
You don't know that. You shouldn't be chasing a woman. You chase what's right. And God will add, if it meant for you to have one, he will add it unto you. But if you chase one and you have to move and do all that crap, you're chasing Satan, daughter. And it's not going to work out because she sees your weakness. She'll pretend that she doesn't until she get you, and that's when the S going to hit the fan. Because you're showing weakness right now by moving toward her, but pretending that is not what it is. She see where you're coming from, man.
Well, that's what women do. They prey on your weakness.
Yeah, absolutely. And so why are you giving in knowing that?
Well, I think this, it's hard to speak with feeling, or try to, I try not to, I do not want to feel, and I want to act logically, but I think this might be just a good place to be because the thing is if you go move over, I know a lot of people that have gone and moved to a place for a girl and they're like living with them or whatever. Like that's totally not the case. I'm just going to be living like nearby.
All you're doing making up excuses. You're justifying your weakness.
Oh my God. Well,
you want her too bad, man. You're making a mistake. I would continue to date the way you guys are dating. Have you had sex with this girl?
What?
What? Have you had sex with this girl?
Yeah.
Well, you're hooked. She is your God. Now you're chasing her. But you're pretending that you're not, and you're excusing it. You're going to live to regret that.
Well, thanks, Jesse. Earlier you said people these days have no morals.
Right.
Can you explain a little bit on what you meant by that?
An example, you are a good example right now, is that you've had sex with this girl. Now you're hooked on to her. First of all, you showed her like a character by having sex with her out of wedlock. Now you're hooked. And now you're finding ways to move near her. And then one thing will lead to another and another and another. Next thing you know, you'll be living with her without being married. Or men are weak to women. There is a story, and I talked about it yesterday, something called Drag Queen Story Time.
Oh, I've heard of that. We have that in our town now.
Parents are taking their children up to 9 months years old, even as low as 9 months of 9 months old, to these stories, drag queen storytelling time, and sitting there, men and women, sitting there with their children, looking at drag queens and celebrating with them, corrupting their own children.
In Anchorage now.
Yeah, corrupting their own children. Men are following women and have no shame about it. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I actually know one of the people that runs it just because I go to school with them, and now they're running for city council in our town.
Yeah.
It's like insane. This person's crazy.
Well, once they corrupt you, they can control you. Elizabeth Warren is saying that she will legalize pot, right, if she wins. Mm-hmm. And if the states that don't go along with it, she'll hold funding back from them to force them to legalize pot. And a lot of people will vote for her just for the pot because they have no value, they have no peace. You're making a mistake, Cameron. You're going down the wrong path. You should not move after this woman. If she cares about you and want to be with you, she should move closer to you. There should be any excuse at all.
But isn't that like, I live in Alaska. It's probably, it's insane to ask someone to because I'm not planning on living in Alaska.
If she loved you and want to be your wife and mother to your children, if you live in a ditch, she would move in there with you as a wife. Hold on, Cameron. Hold on. Cameron,
Yes, sir.
I recommend, if you don't like living in Alaska anymore,
Yeah, I mean, I just know for my career I should probably get out of Dodge. And plus, my dad and my stepmom live in Alaska, so I'm trying to get out of that.
do you like living in Alaska?
Yeah, I love it, but
You love
as far as
living
my
in
career
Alaska,
goes,
right?
yeah, I do.
And if it wasn't for this woman, you wouldn't be considering moving away from Alaska, would you?
Yes, but I think
No, you're not being honest. You're making up all kind of reason, man. You're making a mistake. Women hate weak men. You are now chasing this woman while pretending that you're not. You're going to regret it, Cameron. There are women in Alaska, and if not, when it's time for you to have a wife, one will appear in the right way.
Okay, well, I have one last question for you, Jesse. I don't want to waste too much of your time.
You're not wasting my time, buddy.
Okay, well, so, like...
You should at least be honest with yourself.
I take your advice, but what do I do now? I'm going there. I'm not going to change plans. Is there anything I could do to just make sure that I'm not being a weak beta male by I'm not moving. I'm just staying there for a season, which I've done before. It's not like a crazy move. I'm just going over there to check things out.
Have you noticed that you had sex with her and now you're following her? She has sex with you, but she's not following you. She's making no sacrifices for you at all. Ooh.
No, that's right.
Beta!
Yeah.
How old are you, Cameron?
I'm 26.
Cameron, you're too young. Your father should have raised you the way that you have been, know that it's wrong to follow the woman, but you're addicted, man, you're hypnotized, and it's not going to work out. And she's getting an education too, and knowing she knows now that you're weak, it's not going to work. If you end up marrying this woman or living with her, you're going to become the boy. You're going to be a lapdog. But if you got to go down that road and find out for yourself the hard way, I understand it.
I'm going down there. I'll find out the hard way. I'd rather learn the hard way than not learn at all.
But you know you don't have to learn the hard way, right? If you're aware, which is the awareness, the consciousness of God, you learn that way too. You don't have to go through the hard way to learn, because a lot of times the people who go through the hard way to learn don't recover.
Oh, those are some... God, when I called you, I thought I had, like, the perfect example of why I'm doing the right thing, but now I'm totally losing it.
You love living in Alaska. You're making up these, my mother and my godmother, somebody lived there, and no women in Alaska. But you love living there. You had sex with this girl. You found ways to excuse. Satan is your daddy, and he's leading you down the wrong path by giving you all these reasons to take the dark path rather than the light. You're doing what the average man has done, and that's why America is in a mess today, because the woman is their God.
Hear, hear, Jesse. All is well, I hope.
But you will regret it, buddy.
I hope not. Can I answer your question?
You can't hope not when you know that you're doing the wrong thing. Regret would be the end. But yeah, would you vote for a radical homosexual or a socialist?
So I have to vote. There's no vote.
Would you vote for a radical homosexual or a socialist?
I wouldn't vote for either, but if I had to and there was no other choice and there was a gun to my head, I think I would pick a radical homosexual.
And why?
because they can't help themselves. I think a socialist has a little bit more control over their ideas.
So why would you vote for someone who cannot help himself or herself, and you know it?
Because they're like totally lost, and
But why would you vote for a lost person?
because I hope that they could find some kind of truth, and I think they would have a better recovery into finding out what truth is.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Totally gone, like a socialist. Yeah, I do your silent prayer.
And you don't think that you say a socialist is totally gone?
Yeah, because it's like their own choice, and
I
they're
see.
like totally gonna stick to it because they chose that. A radical homosexual, they can't help it, but when they can help themselves, it'll totally. I think they're. You get what I'm saying?
You think that? Have you ever heard or seen a radical homosexual overcome?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
I think it's easier because they can't. It's not they can't help themselves. It's that they. I don't know. I don't think they knew how to help themselves. So, and a socialist, I think, chose that lifestyle. And once you choose a lifestyle, it's really hard to change them. But homosexual, that's just what they see. That's what they think is right, and what they think is like just regular, normal. And once they see the light, then I think they could turn themselves around easier.
Amazing. Well, I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
Well, I'll be watching live.
Okay.
Jesse.
When are you moving?
March 4th, I fly out. Or I'm moving. I go to New Mexico, and then I go to Boston, and I go to Kentucky for a little bit. I got a whole trip lined up.
Is she going with you?
To New Mexico and then to Boston, but then I'm flying down to Kentucky to hang out with my southern roots.
And who's paying for her?
Herself.
She's paying her own money for everything?
For her stuff, and I pay for my stuff.
Okay. But no sex, man.
Heard.
What?
I said heard. I
Oh.
work in the restaurant industry. That means I understand.
Oh, I see. You're making a mistake, but you know what? You've been warned, and I totally respect you if you go down the road of destruction. Maybe some people have hard heads, and my
Well,
grandmother.
I already made the plans, and I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna try not to fall into like having sex and doing all that stuff. I'm just gonna try to.
You're not going to be able to avoid that.
I'll do my best, Jesse.
You're not going to be able to avoid it. You're going to it for that reason. You're the drug addict. You've been hooked by the dealer, the sex dealer. You're the sex addict. You've been hooked, buddy. But, let me know how it goes. I wish you well. You're a decent guy. I like you.
Thanks, Jesse. I'll call you in a couple of weeks and tell you how it goes, man. Thank you so much for your support, man.
Anytime, buddy.
Cheers.
Bye. Amazing.